All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into tonight's Tuesday night team call. I have to give a shout out to Amber. Thank you so much for hosting last week in my absence and in Tammy and Andrea's absence as well as we were at Superstar Director Summit. If you didn't catch my live on our team page, we came home from Superstar Director Summit with some pretty cool previews of some things that are to come. And so, boy, without giving, without, it's so hard for me to talk about it. And I'm not doing this to like throw it in your face. I'm just doing this to tell you like we have so much cool stuff coming. And the partnership with Disney, we have not even seen anything yet. Like it is going to be insane. And so it was a very exciting week. But Amber, we appreciate you sharing what you did last week. That will be uploaded here very shortly so that you guys can watch it back or share it with your teams, anybody that you think would be interested in learning what it was that Amber showed us. So thank you for that. I also said in my live yesterday, there's a lot of announcements that have been posted that apply to this week in the news on the workstation. So make sure that you check in there daily so that you know what's going on. And have you noticed the new order when you go into order? There's the new scent and warmer of the month. Yeah. Have you noticed anything else new or different? Just that? Okay. So yes, watch for some changes coming on the workstation as well. And here we go. Tonight we are talking about events, fairs, and shows. And before we even get into talking about the fun part of fairs and events and shows, I want to go over really quickly just a few of the highlights from the compliance guide when it comes to fairs, events, and shows. So anytime you have a question on something on if you can or cannot do it, not just with fairs and shows, but just in general as a consultant, if you search compliance guide or compliance on your workstation, the consultant compliance guide will come up. And let's see, one of the items in the compliance guide does deal with fairs and shows, and I'm going to take you through that really quickly right now. So it is considered in-person marketing. Wait, no, it is considered. Where is it? Hold on. Yeah, there we go. In-person marketing. So, temporary events. Temporary events such as fairs and shows can be a great way to meet new customers, promote the Scentsy opportunity, and conduct cash and carry sales. A temporary event refers to state and county fairs and other events that meet all of the following criteria. They have a clear beginning and ending date. So it's not like a farmer's market that is every single weekend at the same place, the same time, ongoing with no end date. These have a clear beginning and end date. They're not held in a retail location. They don't span more than 30 days. They do include multiple vendors. And they are put on by a third party. Okay? So most farmers markets, flea markets, and trade days do not meet the criteria to be considered a temporary event. The span of an event is not determined by the number of days it is open for business, nor by the number of days that you participate in the event, but by the total number of days between the beginning and the end date. For example, an event that is held every Friday and Saturday between May 1st through June 30th spans 61 days and would not be considered a temporary event. So do you get that? Even though there's days in between when it's not open, it still spans from start to finish 61 days. If you participate in a fair or show, you may promote Scentsy's opportunity and collect orders with a promotional display. You may offer cash and carry sales at events that meet all temporary event qualifications. You may offer cash and carry sales at events that do not qualify as a temporary event but do meet the qualifications of a small event exception, which there is a small paragraph about small events Small event exceptions. If your event does not meet the criteria to be considered a temporary event, you may still be permitted to participate with cash and carry sales if your event qualifies for the small event exception. For your event to qualify, all of the following criteria must be met. The event must be within 50 miles of your home. The event may not be in a retail location. There must not be a contract with the temporary event prior to the day of the event. There must not be a contract with the temporary event prior to the day of the event. The event must require all vendor booths to be set up and taken down completely every day of the event. Yeah, I'm classifying most everything as a temporary event. Okay, your booth must always be attended by a current Scentsy consultant in good standing. You may post a picture or video of a promotional display on social media to advertise your event. You may not publicly advertise your Scentsy booth by posting a picture, video, or list of specific items that you will have available for cash and carry. So a lot of times when I post a picture of my event, I will post either a picture of like the event that I just did this past weekend, a picture of the street showing that it's a street fair, or I've done it in the past where I've taken an up-close photo of one bar of wax and maybe a sign that just says, my name and Scentsy Independent Consultant, because they don't want you to take a picture and post so that people can shop from your photo. You can't do that. So you cannot list specific items that you will have available for cash and carry. So I couldn't post and be like, hey, come out and see me in Plymouth. I will have the Stitch Warmer and Darth Vader and the Cinderella carriage, and I hope to see you there. I can't say that. You may not represent or sell Scentsy and non-Scentsy products or opportunities at the same event, even if they are in separate booths. So you could not have a booth at the same event for Scentsy and another company. You also cannot share a Scentsy booth with any other company. Even if you are the consultant or you're not the consultant of that other company, you cannot share a booth. You may not enter contracts for overlapping events or shows. You may not offer cash and carry sales at events that take place in a retail location, even if the event lasts less than 30 days. You may not conduct cash and carry sales unless the fair or show is taking place at a temporary event. You may not conduct cash and carry sales unless it is a temporary event. Basically, you can't have a store that sells Scentsy. Scentsy is not liable for and will not get involved in any disputes that arise between you and an event coordinator or between you and another consultant at the event. So, what is a promotional display that they say that you can have? A promotional display is a way for you to showcase Scentsy products and generate interest without publicly advertising your inventory on hand. Promotional displays are a good solution to advertising your business in a retail location or other locations where cash and carry sales are not permitted. So you are able to put a promotional display. I know when I first got started, I had promotional displays in a couple of the doggy daycares that were near where I lived. And it was a warmer and some wax and some catalogs and some business cards. That's a promotional display, but nothing that insinuates that cash and carry is happening at that location. A promotional display can be as simple as a Scentsy warmer, a stack of catalogs, and a few business cards, or it may include a variety of products to help showcase the diversity of the Scentsy brand. Your promotional display may not appear to be an advertisement of available inventory for purchase via cash and carry sales, meaning it cannot include more than one item from each of the product categories. So you couldn't line up 6 room sprays in your promotional display, because that would be considered available for purchase. Assuming your promotional display meets these guidelines, you may post pictures and or videos of the display on social media. So if I was at my event and I had a couple of, one of maybe 4 different products, I would still be able to post that picture on social. It's not implying that it's cash and carry. Okay, so that's the compliance stuff. So let's talk for a second, or let's look at some pictures actually, because pictures always do some really good justice. Some tips, some tricks, some display ideas. There are consultants within our group that do very large large events with large displays and large cash and carry, all the way down to events with promotional displays. Each in its own right is beneficial. Because if you have a smaller display in a smaller event, your opportunity to book parties and to present the Scentsy opportunity and collect customer information by getting product awareness out there is a heck of a lot more than if you're selling. Because if you're selling, you're engaging in fast sales most of the time, a lot of the time. Maybe not exactly cultivating relationships or getting the chance to really talk to somebody. So, but regardless, okay, let's look at a couple different things. I'm going to share. This, I don't know that that's where I wanted to start. Okay. So here I'm going to showcase Mariana. She just had an event in Mexico. She's a consultant in Mexico. She just had an event. This is her display, her event. Let me hit play. Can you guys see it okay? Or as best as you can. She did a really great job displaying the different product categories, the different products. Her display looks great. She does have a diffuser going. Business opportunity. Not a ton of product, but it's all in the presentation, right? It does look inviting. You can see there's not a ton of, she's got a good amount of product, but it's not a ton. There's a lot of white space on her table, but it does look very interesting and intriguing. She's got a good variety of products, and she did a really great job. So, okay, that's that one. Let me stop the share for 1 second. And Cassie, I'm going to share yours really quickly. So if you want to unmute and just talk about a couple of the things that you guys were in showing you these things, we're showing all, again, there's going to be consultants that have smaller displays or promotional displays. There's going to be consultants that have been doing this for over 10 years or more and have built up stock and have some larger events. So do not be, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Don't be discouraged by seeing you don't have to have this in order to be successful. Remember, we all, even those of us that do events, we started with our promotional displays, talking to people at events. So, okay, Cassie, I am going to, and then you guys will circle back around to questions toward the end. So go ahead and put any questions that you have in the chat and we'll get to those. But Cassie, do you want to talk for a second about, this is your display. This is recent.
This was from my event that I did this past weekend. It's a three-day show, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The main show is actually the National Street Rod Association car show. So the main thing that people are coming for is to see all the fun cars. And then they do what they call Women's World in 2 barns. And there's like about 30 some vendors. So because I hadn't had a big event in a while, everything came. Just about everything I had on hand came. So I try to, and typically this is how I set up at just about any event, whether I have, like some events, I only have 1 8-foot table. Some I get 2. This one is 2 8-foot tables and a 6-foot table. It's a 10 by 10 booth space. So I try to make it so people can, walk in and, walk around and look at different things, set it up with different heights. That's why the big warmers are on the boxes in the back. Mini warmers are in front of those. And then I don't have, like some people use like grid walls and different things to hang their bars. I don't have that. So I've always put my bars on the table so that way people can pick them up and smell them. And then I've started to use like the different signs to try to just break things up. So people have different things to look at. The sign straight ahead, the back right is a Scentsy Club informational sign, and then there's the host and join sign, I think, along with the other purple Scentsy one. I think I ordered that off of the consultant store a while back. And then straight ahead there where you see the warmer of the month, in the photo, I don't have that turned on. The wooden box that the warmer of the month is sitting on is a wooden box that was made for me back when I started almost 10 years ago. Well, over 10 years ago now. And so it's a light box. So the black cord that you see coming down from the wall is in the back of the box. There's 2 outlets in the front. So there's 2 mini warmers plugged in. And that showcases that our mini warmer bases can be turned sideways or normal up and down. And then there is 2 outlets in the back, which allows me to plug in 4 different full size or bigger corded warmers. I do always have, when I set up at event, if I have electricity, because not all of them have those, I do always have a warmer on with wax. So then it's a little easier to explain to people, our wax is, warmed by the light bulb. It's not hot enough to burn you, yada, yada, kind of go on the spiel there. And so then I've tried to do some different things with setup. The purple wooden display in the front left corner is now what I use for my Scentsy pods. A friend of mine made that for me, and you can't see from that photo, it says need more Scentsy on the front of the trays. So just something, try to do different things to catch people's eye.
I love laying the plugins down.
Mhm.
Because
and they
you
all
have
have their
the,
bases on them, because if I
yes.
take the bases off, people are like, oh, does that plug in?
Yep.
So I've started to just, all the bases get plugged in. The glass warmers are on the left-hand side. The ceramic warmers are on the right. So it's, sometimes I mix them up, but when I set up this time, I was like, no, this will be a little easier to do explanation if they're on 2 separate tables instead of mixed in between each other.
And what is on the front left corner? Is that postcards? What is it?
Postcard, because I normally do events at our local expo center that a gal puts on. And so those are her cards for upcoming shows that I'm participating in. She has a show this coming Saturday, so that date is on there. She has a show in October that I'm doing, a show in November. So those,
Great.
Yep. So those I can pass out.
Awesome. Okay. What's on the table past the mini fan diffusers?
Mini fans, and then so I put everything in the front corner that takes the Scentsy pods, which made it easier to explain that.
Yep.
And then I have the deluxe diffuser, and then you can't see on the other side of the mini fans, I had a holder that had room sprays and oils in it. And then there,
what's down?
There, the flyer.
Yes. What's down on the table?
Join brochures.
Okay. Join brochures. Other side. What is this a showcase brochure that's open?
Product list sheets.
Product list.
Handing out to people.
Is it the whole pad?
Almost. And then
That's awesome.
Then what I did is I just put, somebody asked in the group about what works to put on like the back of flyers and stuff. There's a website called 500labels.com, and it's return address labels. So they're tiny and they fit in that little box in the corner. And
Perfect.
So what I did was just have like 5 of them with the stickers on it. And as I tore them off and handed them to people, I would just put five more stickers on and kind of work my way down the pad.
And here's a quick little tip to that too. Because the product sheet, if you guys know what Cassie and I are talking about, they're the product sheets that are front and back. They come on a pad of 50. Mm-hmm. They're very busy. And in the back bottom corner is where the label goes. So what I do is I put my label on it and I take a pink highlighter or a yellow highlighter and I highlight that back corner so that if they flip it over, it draws their attention to my contact information, because otherwise it's super busy. Yep. So
and my stickers are colored. So I have pink stickers, yellow stickers, blue stickers. Great. And then on the back table by the bars that are stacked, those are the scent of the month bars. And then I have the warmer of the month flyer, which are sitting right in front of the 2 stack of orange bars on the right.
I see it. Good. Thank you for taking us through that, because I wanted people to see, like, what are the types of things that you do put out on your table? What are the types of marketing materials or signage? So I love that. So here's another angle.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh, fragrance flowers. We're on there too.
Yep. So now we can see we've got your fragrance flowers, your join brochures. There's your rack with all of your pods. Okay. And the back. So it's a closer closer look at the plug-in box that she was talking about. That's what brings electricity into her booth. I have one of those as well. That was I enlisted one of my handy friends to help me make back in 2009. But same thing. It's got, it shows the different ways that you can turn the plugins. So just like Cassie has in this, she's got a sideways plug, an up and down plug. But
I don't have an upside down one, but then I just take a warmer and show them how it can twist completely around. So
very cool. And from the other angle. So car bars, on the go products. There's your business cards.
Yep.
And the different bases. Very cool, Cassie. This is really good and really all inclusive. You've done a really, really good job. A really good job. So thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, let's look at, and give me 1 second. I forgot to pull up. That's what I meant to do. I have an album of events. So give me just 1 second.
while you're pulling that up, a big thing about events too isn't always that. I mean, we love the sales, but networking is important too. I mean, talking to people that come into your booth, talking with the other vendors that are around, because you never know what connections you can make for future shows or future sales. Just because they take your business card and don't buy from you that day, you never know what's coming down the road too. So
keep talking for 1 more
I have
second.
done it. Jess just asked in the chat, do you do a drawing box to get contacts? I have done that before. My drawing bowl is actually at my work office, and I haven't been able to go back to the office to get it, but I have done that. But they do have that one in the consultant store that you can, is the paper, like thick paper box that you can put together, and then they can put the slips in. And then they have the drawing slips that you can get from there too.
Okay. All right. Can you see my screen? Is it sharing? Okay. So some of these I'm not going to say anything about necessarily, but these are really just to kind of give you an idea of some display setups. Here is a drawing slip that somebody has on their table. Catalogs, a little bit of stylizing just to show. And this is one of the things that I love about when you don't have a ton of product, you have the ability to really stylize 1 or 2 or 3 different warmers. And, it's one of the things our customers don't think about is actually incorporating a Scentsy warmer into their current decor. Most people look at Scentsy warmers as a standalone wax warmer. And us consultants, we're really good at incorporating these wax warmers into our everyday decor and design. And so it's our job, one of our many jobs, to show our customers why they need more than one warmer and how they can incorporate it and make it look really cute. So I love how this consultant did her display. That Nordic Santa is a warmer, this camper is a warmer, and how it's incorporated into this little Christmas display. It's awesome. But here, this is a zoomed out picture of that super cute display. It's not anything, there's not cash and carry here. This is a promotional, display table. There's some testers for smelling, another display with a couple more warmers, some information. This is perfect. This is perfect. Little, a bigger display. I love the use of the letterboard. There's a little chalkboard easel, some signage, anything that kind of puts your own little spin on your display that kind of makes it your own, makes it not just look like a stock image. There's back here with the laundry stuff, there's a fake or a toy washer and dryer, just cute little add-ons that make your display stand out. There's a closer picture. Here's another. Look how simple this is, but how fresh and how inviting this is. It's very simple. Couple products on display, not a ton of stuff. You can truly do events with what comes in your starter kit. Because really, remember, the product is the product, but the customers that you meet, you're selling you to your customers. You want to solidify a relationship with them. Gosh, these are our old testers, but this is a little display. Separated the testers by category. Another display. So you can see, not a ton of product. We love our little, accessories and things to hold our products, don't we? So that's really cute. Here's another great little display. This consultant uses old testers as some samples. These are in her join packets. So a couple testers from prior catalog. Because it looks, I don't know, it makes the join packet look cooler, in my opinion. Plant stands used for warmers and for display. This birch is a warmer stand, so if you aren't sure or aren't aware, we have a cord concealing stand that looks like birch, but it also doubles as a great stand for your warmers. Cute little display. Here's the enter here box. And another angle. Cute little ways to display. And you can use things that you have laying around your house. When you see mine, I'll show you what I use. It's my grandfather's old 7-Up crate is what I use, and his old cigar box. I loved this too. Chalkboard, in your own writing. Help wanted. Be your own boss. Another display. Display. This I love, and I have done this multiple times. I do this for my home parties. I have bought black craft paper, and I use that as my tablecloth, and then I take a white paint marker and write on the table. So I will set up my white or my craft paper, place all of my items where I want them, and then write right on the paper. And the cool part is you can customize it to every single party, or you can use the same one and just roll it up when you're done and take it to your next event or your next party. It doesn't even have to be a home party. You can do this for your events as well. That's a great way to fill table space. If you don't have a ton of products or a ton of things to put out, you can fill it with some really cute, especially if you're artsy, fill it with some cute writing and, some information. So I think that I love this example. It's so much fun. Here's another angle of it. So I love, she's got products that are new. Here's the new kids line, kids fragrances, take my business card, limited edition Scentsy Buddy. This is a new car bar. Here's the Harvest collection, take one. Just a really cute and fun interactive display. So I love this idea. Here's another very simple display. Couple bars to choose from maybe that are cash and carry, but for the most part. Here's a piece of advice I will give you. If this was your table display and I walked up to it and I asked if I could buy one of your display warmers because I really just want the red one with the heart on it, sell it to them. Sell it. Because when I was doing my first couple events, I was like, no, I can't, I'll take an order for it for you, and I'm not going to sell you what's on my table. And I realized when I went home, I was packing up and taking everything home with me, and I thought, this is so silly. This warmer should not be coming home with me. It should be going home with a new customer to get them hooked. So if even the tiniest of displays, if somebody walks up and they're adamant they want to buy something right off your table, by all means let them, because you can always reorder. All right, so this is one of my displays. This is a craft show that I do in the holidays. So over the holidays, it's in a high school. This is the box like Cassie's. So mine, I think I've repainted it since this, but it says a style that fits anywhere. My plugs go all 3 different directions to show that the base swivels. And business cards with scent samples attached. I'll show you how I make those scent samples here in just a minute, but this is, yeah. And another display, couple items for sale. For the most part, it's a display table. Great. Bars. You don't have to have fancy grid wall. You don't have to have a fancy rack that spins. You can put bars straight up on the table. I did that this past weekend. I put them on a table because if I hung them, they started to melt and drip because it was a little warm outside. So cute use of crates. What I love about this is I know that this consultant uses those crates to carry the product in. So it's kind of dual purpose. You carry the products in and then use the crates to display. And I think that that is just darling. So I hope that this is giving you just a little bit of an idea, making you think about things that you have around the house, making you think, or think outside of the box with how you could display things, or even giving you the confidence that you have enough in order to do something like this. Okay, there's a free sample bucket back there. Gang's all here. It's cute, right? Products in the, literally, it doesn't have to be formal. A lot of times we set up where we can. I've done home parties where I've used the top of a TV stand to display my products. So, and this is really cute too, using a wagon to display all of your Scentsy buddies. I think that's adorable. So, okay. That, and then am I still holding a little bit of your attention? You haven't left me yet, right? Okay, one more, because I'm going to show you. This is a presentation I put together based on my own experiences, and then I want to give you a couple tips and tricks that I've learned, and then we'll answer some questions. And my goodness, it takes us to the top of the hour. So, all right, just a second. Let me figure out where that is. All right, I'm going to share screen. And where am I? Nope. Where is it? Hold on one second. There it is. Okay. Here we go. Share. All right. You can see this okay? Yeah, participants can now see my screen. All right. So this, I'm only going to point out things that, so forget how much product you see. I just want to point out some of the things. Like I said, I used my grandfather's 7-Up crate to use and his old cigar box, his old antique table that I painted purple. Things, nothing that you have to go out and buy. You have things around your house, plant stands, risers, things that you can use to display. These racks, at the point when I was using these were in my garage, and I pulled them and used them. Here is that table up close. Just gives it a little bit of dimension. Like Cassie had said when she was explaining her table, when you give your table a little bit of height and varying height, then it draws people's eyes to the different levels. So there's that 7-Up box. I always have a sheet for people to join my newsletter. I acquire their email address. Now I actually prefer their phone number so that I can text them. So not just email, but I will try for email and for phone number so that I can add them to my newsletter, but also send them a text. Take picture frames and put promotional postcards in them. This is how I display a lot of, you can see another picture frame back here. Take picture frames that you might have, and it just jazzes up the marketing a little bit. These cubes are little chalkboards, and I used these for, the first, I don't even know how long, in my display, but 20 hours per cube, over 80 different scents. They're safer than candles. No wick, no smoke, no, what else did I say? No problem. And then no flame. So I had different, just different little plugs about Scentsy on these little chalkboards. You'll see I had some old business cards that I used the back of them and printed labels with prices on them. And that's what I use to stick underneath the warmers on top of the boxes with their prices. I since have upgraded, and I'll show you what I use now. But here we go again. You can see 7-Up box, plug-in box, cigar box, used many different ways. Candlestick holders. You can pick these up pretty cheap. My goodness, you could even pick them up. You can pick them up at Goodwill or Salvation Army and paint them, for crying out loud. It doesn't matter what they look like, but it just gives your product a little bit of depth and dimension. Many times I will have customers want to purchase them as well. And so I tell them those aren't for sale, but they can do the very same thing with their warmers by putting them up on pedestals or candlesticks. Just another view. Another view. Another view. More views. I had a sign. I don't have this sign anymore, but my go-to scent that I melt at all events is coconut lemongrass because it carries the furthest. That's just been my experience. I have tried baked apple pie. I have tried summer fragrances. I've tried things like Clean Breeze, but nothing draws people in like coconut lemongrass. So that's just a little Melissa tip. Sign, wax bars, labeling. The reason I have the labeling like this is I always show every catalog season, I label my bars in a different place so that I know. So this is 2 bars of skinny dipping, and I know based on how I labeled it, if it's from the prior catalog season or if it's from the current catalog season. It just helps me cycle through the bars in the appropriate order. So just an idea. Here are the samples that you saw sitting on my table, just little tiny wax squares, and here's how I get those. It's 5 bars of wax, I think 5, on this cookie sheet into the oven for the lowest temperature until it melts, and then let it harden and score it with a butter knife, and it comes out with a ton of little samples that you can put attached to your business card just to give your business card a reason to hang on to it. So I actually sponsored someone who hung on to my business card for 1 year because it had a sample of sweet pea, one of these little squares of sweet pea vanilla on it, and she held on to it for a year and joined my team a year later. But so you just never know the power of something that smells. And there's another close-up of it. If you want to do little giveaways, purchase, if you place an order or you purchase, make up some laundry washer, some washer whiff samples. There's not a ton of, you can get, gosh, I don't even know how many scoops out of a tub, but, you use your host credit or your host rewards to get a tub of washer whiffs for half off and then turn them into samples. And that's a really good little giveaway or thank you. Something else is I wrote my Scentsy story and I put that on my catalogs, more than just a sticker. And you can see this and I know you can read, but it might be small. And it just says, I love Scentsy. I love the people I meet because of Scentsy. Past hostesses, current customers, team members, other consultants. I've gained so many of you as friends, all because I spent $99 to start a Scentsy business. I appreciate your loyalty and will always accept and reward your referrals. Scentsy is my full-time career, which allows me to stay home with my new daughter, and the dog is pretty happy I stay home too. Keep your warmers plugged in, keep your spaces smelling amazing, and keep me in mind when you think Scentsy. You're welcome to copy that or modify it a bit to make it yours, but it gives a little bit more personality to a booklet. And there's a closer picture. So if you're watching this back on YouTube, you can pause that and take a peek at that. All right, so and that's when my office actually used to look clean. And it's not like that anymore. So anyways, okay, let's get to, I wanted to show you my updated pricing. So this is what I use now for pricing my warmers. Instead of using the business cards with labels, I bought these wood circles and I used stamps, and I have them for all different prices, and I just used stamps. And what I like about these is they're heavier so they don't blow away, and I can throw them in the top of the warmer dish or set them on the box next to the warmer. I typically like to put them in the warmer dish of the warmers that aren't on, just because then they stay contained. But I have a whole bag of them. This was super inexpensive, and I just love, you can even use these for home parties as well, or any kind of displays, because if you want to put pricing with any of the products. So I love that this is just a fun little idea. All right. Anybody have anything that they want to add that's a tip or trick? I just thought of something else too. And I want to look at questions because I know we are getting right at the top of the hour. I want to see the warmer that you picked out, Melissa. I didn't get to pick one out. I had to leave Superstar Director Summit before I got to go into the room. So I had to get back for my event, but I did get to do it a couple of years ago. And I would show you that warmer, but it's actually in the warmer wall right now. Is it a good idea to have a warmer going with wax melting? It is, so that people like to know what you're talking about, and it helps scent the area. So yes, it's a good idea. If you don't want to put wax in one of your ones that is your demo or that is possibly for sale, bring a warmer of yours from home. Bring your own warmer and put wax in it and use that at the event. And I know some of these you got answers, so Debbie, thanks for answering that. And she's right. It's a good idea to have a few bars of the scent that you are melting for purchase right then and there. Because typically when people smell them, they do want to buy them right then and there. So it is always nice. If you're going to melt coconut lemongrass, have a couple bars of coconut lemongrass with you. Do you do a drawing box? Okay. I use the Amy event contact list. Yes, that's awesome. Are you putting out testers for people and do they get sanitized? That's completely on you. So I did not sanitize my bars this past weekend after people were smelling. I actually only had one person not want to touch the wax. Other than that, I don't know. It's a little bit of probably all of us having a little bit of hopeful, wishful thinking that we can move past COVID, but the threat is definitely real. And I did have hand sanitizer on my bar table. I had hand sanitizer at my cash out station. It's not a bad idea if you have some Lysol or some Lysol wipes or whatever. Wipe off the stuff periodically. It's your level of comfort. Okay, wax table looks like Mary Jane's living room. That's hilarious. This is great. So many cute ideas. Yeah, it's just nice to see how many different people set things up. It jogs, it gets your mind thinking about how you want to do things. Purchase wooden discs. Where did I purchase them? They're on just Amazon, and these are, what are these? 1.5 inch circles. So 1.5 inch wood circles. Outlet box, how would you go about making one? So we could take some up close pictures just to show how. I think I'll do that. I'll take some pictures of mine and post it, and then maybe if you know somebody that might be handy, or you might be able to outsource it to somebody to make it for you. Pics of display power box. I'll post those on Together We Scent. Okay. If you don't have electricity, spray the room spray. Thank you for that, Robin. I always coordinate. So if I'm going to melt coconut lemongrass in my warmer, I also have a coconut lemongrass room spray that I spray my tablecloth with. So I correlate those, they accentuate each other. So use wall fan diffusers in a pod to bring people in, spray the tablecloth. What does the cash out station consist of? Do you use QR codes? So again, my cash out station, because I use Square, that is something you can use on your phone. It just kind of depends. If you're taking orders, then you're probably going to write out order forms. Kind of depends. You can use QR codes, for people to pay you. Like we've become accustomed in this day and age to see contactless pay. So you walk up somewhere and it might have a Venmo code and a Cash App code and a QR code for PayPal. It's just kind of up to you. What are good payment methods to have? So again, it just depends. If you're doing cash and carry, if you want to take cash, I really don't take checks. Do people even really write checks anymore? But I really don't take checks because I can't, especially if product is leaving my hands. I want to make sure that I have been paid for it. And if nothing else, I want to make sure that I have their information. So you may have to, Vanessa, ask that a little bit more specific. I use a square reader. Michael sells wooden circles. Okay, so and Square Reader, I don't know. It used to be if you downloaded the app, you could get a reader for free. I don't know if that's the case anymore now that we're not just swiping, but you actually can tap or insert. I think that reader might cost something. But the thing is, it's nice when you are able to bring it home and put in a Scentsy order and have Scentsy run the credit cards for you, because then you're not paying any credit card fees. Scentsy pays those. But sometimes you want to be paid because product is leaving your booth or your table. And so in that case, you may run it through Square or have somebody PayPal you or Venmo you. And, it's so funny. This never was modes of payment in the past. I remember when I did one of my first events and I had to take my laptop out there and I had to get Wi-Fi. I had to buy like a card to put in my laptop to get Wi-Fi. And then I had one of those, do you remember those credit card machines that you had with the carbon? I had that just in case. And it's amazing. Now we can just tap or send money via our phone. It's crazy. So, all right, you guys were at the top of the hour. I don't want to keep you any longer, but is there anything else that you want to say? I will say one thing. This is what I thought of. Have something that you focus on as an upsell if you are doing cash and carry. So you can do everything, as much as a pack of 3 light bulbs for $5. This past weekend, I was doing the cleaning bundle of Autumn Road Trip or Cider Mill, and that was my upcharge. And so that was a quick $26 at my cash out for those that were interested. So always have something that you're focusing on upselling, and that's if you're doing cash and carry. If you're not doing cash and carry, then you really want to be focusing on acquiring customer information to get their text info, their email, whatever your mode of preferred communication is. You really want to, that's the point of you being there, is to acquire some new customers. So, cool. We good? That was fast. That was a superpower hour. All right, awesome. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. And I will get this uploaded so that you have it for reference and can go back and do it. I will have last week's and this week's uploaded no matter what before Friday. So, okay. Thanks, you guys. Have a good rest of your night.